Ahoy! How are you? Well, I thought it would be interesting to talk about this game known as Werewolf. And this is a game, as I understand it, that was played at a lot of sci-fi conventions, I think science conventions, comic book cosplay, magic conventions, the kids that play the cards and stuff, or adults. I don't want to say it's just kids, but Werewolf is basically a game. I believe it's best played with an odd number of people, and you have to have a moderator that makes sure that nobody cheats and kind of moves the game along. But basically, everybody gets a scrap of paper, and on that paper is written one of two things. One, a villager. Two, a werewolf. Now, it doesn't matter if there's 17 people playing or 9 people playing. There's always only 2 werewolves, and the rest are villagers. So the moderator basically says, okay, kids, we're all sitting in a room in a circle. It's nighttime. Everybody close or cover your eyes. And obviously the 2 cats that know they're werewolves close their eyes but then open them. They look at the moderator and somehow communicate who they're going to kill. Once that's established, the moderator says, okay, everybody open your eyes. Sorry, much to everyone's chagrin, some werewolves have killed Ted. And everybody goes, oh my God, Ted! Ted's dead! What are we going to do? Who could have killed Ted? And they spend those daytime moments trying to figure out who the werewolves are. And of course, the werewolves are amongst them now because it's daytime and they're just villagers. When they've decided, they'll say to the moderator, okay, we think we're going to kill Lewis, we think he's a werewolf. And the moderator will go, no, I'm sorry, you just killed an innocent villager. Well, Lewis hasn't done anything, he's not a werewolf. Oh my God, what have we done? What a world, right? We killed an innocent man. Werewolves live to kill another day. They go, okay, it's night, and the process begins again and again. Now, the original game itself was actually invented by this Russian cat in 1987. He called it Mafia, and his name was Dimitry Davidoff, and he worked in the psychology department of the Moscow State University, and the Mafia game was quite popular. Obviously, the mafiosa or the Goodfellas were before the werewolves came along, and it was actually a cat named Andrew Plotkin who changed the concept to werewolves in like 1997, saying the werewolves added a layer of, I don't know if complexity is the right word, but basically saying that at least an easier concept at night werewolves are the monsters, right? As opposed to mafia guys, and during the day they just look like regular folks. And what's important about the game itself is it's essentially a conflict between 2 groups. The informed minority, which are the werewolves, they're in the know, and the uninformed majority, the villagers. And the goal, obviously, for the informed minority is to keep the hooplehead villagers uninformed, fat, dumb, and stupid. That way they can control themselves, right? They can control everything. The game's, again, very, very popular, and there's some variations where they add detectives and some different things. I don't want to go down any of those rat holes. I just thought it was a very interesting, and keep in mind, it would be a stressful game because if you're playing the werewolf, you have to lie, cheat, and steal to stay alive. Much like, and I think this is where the psychology comes in, much like real life. The informed minority does its best to keep the uninformed majority, the masses, uninformed. That's how you control. That's how you control people. That's how governments control their people. That's how churches control people. If you can't read, you have to rely on whoever can read for the information. If you can't figure out science, you have to rely on the science guy, and you have to maybe believe him or not believe him. If you're lying, that becomes stressful. If you're the werewolf that's lying that he's a werewolf, or if you're a scientist saying something that's factually not true because you want to maintain power or government. And I thought the concept of the werewolf game really kind of brings home that larger concept of those who have the information and try to hold on to it. They do it purely for control, versus if you have information, if you share it with the world, you lose control, but the world has that information. Sky's blue, water's wet. These are things that we just know. Anyway, I don't know if Dimitry Davidoff got any money for it. I doubt it. I looked up, there's several formulas. It really goes down some rat holes that I wasn't super interested in. I just thought it would be kind of a fun thing to share. You may have heard of it. I certainly think it would be a fun game to play. I have not played it. And again, the odd number is just to keep, so that you don't have to do tiebreakers like a flip of a coin, because that would change the probabilities. But statistically speaking, typically, the informed minority wins the game, just like in life. Anyway, in this world, when you can be anything you want, you be kind, you be humble, you be forgiving. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Oh, hey, I have an Instagram channel now. It's Dealer and Whimsy that you can go check out and watch me being. See me act a fool even more than I do here. Anyway, have a good night. Bye.